This is a new version of OBS, and I'm not sure if I like it very much. Where is it? Alright, we're streaming, at least. It looks like we're streaming. Let me double check. Let's see if the people can see that we're streaming. Alright. Hey, Kevin. Move my windows around really quick. We're back in the middle of the fields. We'll probably be doing more or less the same stuff we were doing last time. Good evening, Mopac. Originally, so Gloria's cooking right now. Originally, I thought the food was going to be done earlier, uh, and I was totally ready to start the show, like, without my camera on, without anything on, just showing the AI doing AI things. And yes, my love.
Red is
The one on the left.
the one closest to the brick wall bridge.
Yeah, should be. If you're curious, just sort of feel the bottom and see if it's hard, and if it is, that's the older one. Goodbye me, go march. So yeah, I thought the food was gonna be done earlier, and I was actually gonna start this off. I was gonna start the stream off, just with the AI doing its thing, and I was gonna show up later. But it turned out that that I could just start this regularly, and I'm still a little bit flummoxed on how to get this area here done. Um, Part of me wants to go with more of this sandy soil looking stuff, and part of me wants to go with trees. I'm just not entirely sure. I mean, originally I wanted to have these more like bluffs, but I'm not sure we ended up building that correctly. If I smooth these out a little bit, it might end up looking more like that. Hey, Matt. And I don't have anything to, like, knock on you for. So, you're in the... This is I'll say it multiple times throughout the stream tonight, but if you have not signed up for the bracket for double headers, consider signing up. If you haven't watched the third episode of the public duels, or the public double headers, that might be a good thing to watch, because that actually has, like, some good gameplay. No offense to what we recorded last night, but it's just a blowout disaster. Um, Yeah, no, I don't have anything to call you out for this time. Although, what was... I know I... Yeah, whatever. Missed the practice because my truck exploded? Oh, okay. Um, man, there's been sort of a spate of trucks exploding. I hope that wasn't your truck with all the dildos on it. Um, if you see in the fan chat right now. But, how come it's not, how come it's not moving? Oh, it is. I'm just blind. Um, are you okay? That's my main concern. Oh, man, I don't know what to do with this. I might, I might just go with trees for some of it and then, like, sand for this part. But this is kind of a big hole and I want to fill it in. Phrasing. Yeah, because if I don't do this, then the area up by the farm is going to look kind of weird. These are just the dunes. Didn't actually explode, but it... Oh, right! Oh, right. Yeah, that's right. I did see that photo. I forgot that was your truck. Is 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 it all right? Cause that's not... Usually you want the oil to stay inside of the truck. Although I guess under the hood is still inside, depending on how you judge that. So, you know, um, hope everything's all right with that. Hope you're all right. Hope the truck is gonna be okay. It's not supposed to do that. Just change the oil and put a new filter in. I think it'll be okay. Okay. Well, as long as you think so, as long as it runs. Who just got an oil leak? Somebody said they had an oil leak, and I was like, ah, if it's leaking oil, it has oil. Um, I can't remember if that was in the conversation last night during the. You've had many a work truck do. Well, okay, the work trucks are like enigmas. I had never seen something just blow the whole oil cap off and just geyser oil all over the engine bay. Um, but then again, I have never seen most of the things that happen to Matt's trucks, Matt's work trucks. I feel like I feel like they sort of exist in a realm of their own where things like things that are not supposed to be reasonably possible for automobiles to survive or at least continue existing after they happen regularly on Matt's farm. Which I'm curious, Matt. So you do like a lot of the, because your place is like a wedding venue, right? So you guys do a lot of the heavy lifting for setting up and taking down, I assume. Are you guys involved in the planning at all? You can touch the inside of the hood of the one. There's so much oil on the inside of the hood. Oh God. It's not supposed to be like that. Um, all we do the setting up unless they rent stuff. Oh, okay. Because I really, so the girlies, right? No, we don't plan. My boss isn't that sensible to let us do the plans. Well, okay, because I was thinking, right? It just crossed my mind. It's like Matt does like wedding setup and stuff. Uh, what kind of wedding would a Matt planned wedding look like? And Gloria and their friends do sort of their wedding planning all the time, and they're always like, "Oh, we're gonna do this and we're gonna do that," and I feel like it's just one of those pastimes, and I wonder, I wonder just as an exercise. I mean, not even you specifically, just like the Iron Horseman plan a wedding. What would that actually look like? I mean, I'm sure we're gonna see like half of what it's gonna look like when Mason gets married, but uh, seriously, I wonder. Cake, champagne, and a priest. I mean, maybe, but the priest is dressed up as Sir Topham Hatt. Like, hey, Mew. Um, interesting thing to come into me saying the priest is dressed up as Sir Topham Hatt, but we'll just not worry about that too much. This isn't a role play thing, I swear. Minimal tables because they're a pain to set up. Small wedding with rented chairs. Lots of food trucks. Yeah, I know. We get we just send an open letter to the food trucks of the city of Boston to be like, come on down. Whatever you make is whatever you make. Just pure profit, no setup fees. I mean, if you're successful, imagine trying to make a wedding, uh, but have there be a net profit at the end of it. That's what it just made me think of. Like, if you're charging your, uh, if you charge basically you're making a carnival instead of a wedding, is what I'm realizing. Um, but Father Topper was very cross. Yeah, there's a, I mean, I'm not I'm resisting jokes here that involve crosses. I'll just say that much. Um, If the wedding isn't Matt's work, do we include a limo with oil geysers? Oh man, Mission Barbecue. Yeah, you can't wear white to the oil geyser wedding. I feel like that'd be a wedding for like yes baby. Oh god, Gloria just said the thing fell off the toaster and I'm afraid of what that means. Um hold on, I need to do some troubleshooting. Don't go away. Don't touch that dial. You don't sound like it. Okay. Ow, Jesus. Rockefeller weddings, yeah. Alright, did it have the stuff? Yeah, exactly. All right, so it was the lever. The plastic end of the lever popped off. Still a totally usable toaster, and you can slide the lever back on. And I just put the super glue over there, so I might end up fixing that later. So we are well, we are. Gloria is making burgers, but we don't have any burger buns, so we're just using stale bread. Because we have 2 loaves of bread. Because I bought a loaf of bread so that I could make sandwiches for the office. I ended up not going to the office, so I didn't make any sandwiches. So we just had a whole loaf of bread, um, and we sort of we got to use the bread before it goes bad. So you take the stale bread and just throw it in the toaster, and suddenly it's good as new. Like I don't remember what it was. I think it was actually a regular car reviews video, where Mr. Regular made a joke about like extending the life of stale bread by toasting it to make it like more palatable. And I went, "Wow, that's a good idea." Like that's legitimately a piece of advice that I've gotten from regular car reviews, which in fairness, I mean, he does sort of do like the life talk stuff every once in a while. Sometimes more than once in a while, but usually that doesn't lead to like a lesson, it leads to like an existential crisis, where you start to question why we're here. But, you know, either or. I mean, nobody can say that regular car reviews is unhelpful at that rate. Um, Bread in the freezer is a good way to do it. Bread in the fridge is sort of like a medium way to do it. I like to always have my bread like usable. Stale bread is just undercooked toast. Yeah, I mean that's fair, I guess. Um, is this it? No, no, this is something else. Farm scrub. I think it's farm scrub. Can I move the camera, please? Yeah, it's farm scrub, I think. So, yeah, I mean, that's pro tip. That's how you extend the life of bread that has gone stale. Just throw it in the toaster. It's good as new. Honestly, I feel like my whole life I have lived under sort of the misconception that toast is not like as good as it is. Toast is way better than I feel like most people give it credit for. Um, I know that's sort of a random thing to harp on, but when I used to sort of like stop and think if I wanted my bread toasted in my sandwich, and then I learned that there's no question here. The answer is always yes. Um, Run the toaster on max for 5 minutes, then turn it off, then throw some slices in there as it cools down, hot enough to defrost but not toast. Is this like a toaster oven? Because I don't know a toaster that I can set for 5 minutes. Yes, baby. All right, I got my food. Crisis averted. All right, I'm gonna do the thing. Toasted PB&J breakfast sandwich. Okay, I apologize for disappearing. It's just awkward timing. So I'm gonna do the thing I always do when I get food, which is we're gonna exit. We're gonna save, turn off my face cam so you guys don't have to watch me eat these delicious looking burgers. And we'll run the AI. There's really nothing that I have to learn this time, but we can watch the switcher. There's a couple of things that I have to build, or that I have to set up the AI for. One of them is switching out the intermodal facility. Another one is the Lionhead turn, but that's going to wait a while. Lionhead turn's going to wait till rush hour's over. Like I've mentioned, the next thing I'm going to program is the passenger train in the valley and the associated rail bus. Okay, yeah, I'm you. I thought you meant a toaster oven. Toaster ovens are great. I love a toaster oven. The primary is over, and I'm still getting like political texts. I mean, I know that there's like a substantially more impactful election coming up. That being, the general. But damn, like the field is so narrowed. I thought they would shut up for a little while. All the primaries had like 6 people in them. Also, why are we mentioning Mallard? Was Mallard on the loading screen? I didn't see it. I mean, I intentionally do not see it. What about... Oh, Mallard the rail bus, that's right. I'm not referring to that as Mallard. It doesn't deserve it. It doesn't deserve to be treated with such disdain. Yeah, DJ's here. Hey, DT. Don't mind me, I'm eating my dinner. Sort of an unopportune time, but, you know, dinner waits for no man. So, we've just got this going on. Grizzly A modified for push-pull service. We have turned a Grizzly A4 into an NPCU. You can store bikes in it. And also we painted it Amtrak Phase 3. Holy crap, if Ryan was here. Hold on. Somebody ping Ryan and tell him that. With the dovetail logo, oh god. I think that's like the only Amtrak Heritage unit, if you can call it that I haven't seen. That isn't a Charger. And I'm kind of surprised I never saw it. Because it's on a, it's on an electric engine. They're in my neck of the woods. Galloping duck. The Malloping moose. Alright, there goes my salad full of sad soggy croutons. 5.29% grade at 2 miles per hour. Well, as long as you make it. Waddling Montague. The Gallivanting Gosling. The Doodlebug's Moose. Thing looks sick. I want to see that. What does? Wait, just saw a pic of what? Oh, the Dovetail Games thing? I'm not sure if it's still wrapped. I don't know if it's still around. I know it was like a temporary thing. Because it was just a promotional stunt for, I think, the Northeast Corridor, or like the Boston MBTA Train Sim World thing. The Phase 3 was part of the wrap, so honestly, I don't know. I hope it is. That'd be great. Honestly, everything should just be in Phase 3. When Amtrak is the only railroad company left in the United States, it should just paint everything Phase 3. I am doing some testing, Kitty. Mostly because I'm trying to eat this burger. But, really, I want to know if this guy clips through the train. I mean, an N3V unit would be cool. I just feel like N3V just doesn't have the legs that Dovetail does. Dovetail's huge. I mean, when you hear the words train simulator, you think the Dovetail train simulator. It's not, you know, that's just the way it is. Pepperidge Farm remembers playing it, Aron. Okay, yeah. Microsoft Train Simulator. I should have the camera pointed this way so that we see if anything comes by in the main line. I don't know if you can change your train's username. It's really funny the stuff that we got as kids, that we put usernames on, and now it's, you know, 15 years later and we can't or haven't changed them. Like, this, I feel you. Hey, I can recommend tons of games that are good for lower end systems. It depends on what you want. Hello, Ryan. But yeah, I mean, this channel was Bombs321 for the longest time. Yeah, I know. That was my original RuneScape name. And I mean, the other stuff is usually iterations of Trainman. Like Trainz is Trainman 1337. Xbox Live is Trainman 1337. Although I really would love to get Admiral Ellis on there. I might have to settle for Admiral Ellis and then some numbers. By the way, so TJ's the only one here that would have seen this, but the picture of Bernie with the mittens sitting on the railroad tracks, it should be like the mascot of the server. Like, god damn it. I'm just sitting here poking the railroads like, strike already. Frankly, I barely have time for my own time memeing out online. Yeah, no, I understand. I really need to make more time to play more varied games. Well, see, yeah. I mean, I don't know what kind of games you do play. CSX 68, yep. Distaste for modern American trains and a thing for hot anime warships. Nice. Um, I don't know. Again, I don't know what kind of games you do tend to play. It was like the 10th anniversary of FTL the other day, and that is such a stellar game. No pun intended. I have put a good number of hours into FTL. I mean, let's see. And I'm not the kind of person that pours thousands of hours into most games, but I have about 300 hours in it. Which is pretty substantial if you ask me. That's that's more than I have in a lot of similar games. I mean, somehow I only have 364 hours in Factorio. The only achievements I'm missing are the production ones, the secret one, and like the ones that involve doing playthroughs of with a, you know, very well or very fast. Mopac, I feel that. Oh, that's a shame that it doesn't run too well. Yeah, maybe someday it'll be a better game. Maybe someday. I feel like everything that can be said about Rare Arts Online has already been said, but like, I hope that it ends up being one of those games that rises from the ashes. You know, maybe not immediately, but hopefully in like a couple of years. You know. Yeah, the truck sims are solid games. No, Factorio will run on an actual potato. Factorio might be the most optimized game I've ever played. I was saying, I was always saying that for April Fools, Railroads Online should have added the big boy, but made it standard gauge so you couldn't actually use it. 3-foot TGV. You know what we really need? 3-foot New York Central Black Beetle. Oh, Mew. There's a game that I have been pining for, and then I keep, legitimately, I keep like looking at my bank account and going, can I justify this? Can I justify this purchase? Noida. Um, it's like a Finnish mythology-inspired wizard game where every pixel is simulated. It's kind of crazy. It looks really cool and a lot of fun. And I've just been binging like Let's Plays of it. I'm on like DEFCON 1 when it comes to buying this thing. I'm going to buy it the moment I can. And it's one of those things where it's like, I would love to buy this game. I don't know when I'm going to play it, but I really want to play it. Gold Rush. I've heard things about Gold Rush. NOITA. It's a side scroller. It sort of looks like Terraria almost, but it's like Spelunky sort of. Um, yeah, you're a wizard. You tool around in like caves and defeat enemies and like build your wands. Like you combine spells to make your wands, which is the coolest part. I am tempted to stream it, But I run into a problem, which is like, if I have time to stream it, or if I have like the inclination to stream it, because not every game I want to play, I want to stream, then I should probably be filling that time with something that I know people will like more. Yeah, you can make super broken loadouts if you find the right stuff. Somebody was talking about doing trillions of damage per second, or something insane like that. But it's a game where half the time you'll die because of your own incompetence. Like, you make a spell that like backfires and blows you up. That sort of thing. It is not. It doesn't mess around. Um. It. The. There are no training wheels with that game. Um. I'm sure you can commit many war crimes in that game. Hmm. At least World of Warships is free, right? Yeah, yeah. You has it figured out. But like, if I had more time to stream stuff or like record stuff, I would be doing all the locomotion scenarios. That's been on my list for a while. I have wanted to go and do that specifically. Just to see how far I can get. I still don't totally understand how some of the stuff in the game works, but or like how the performance indicator works, but you know, you got to go the other way, dude. He always pulls out forward and then he has to back up. I have not played Raid Shadow Legends. It's always one of those things where you see all the advertisements and go like, what is this game really? For a while there were a lot of memes about Clash of Clans, and I really wanted to do a I want to do like a week of Clash of Clans. Just download it, play it for a week, and then come back with like my review. But I never got around to that. Mafia City, yeah. Yeah, priorities, right? You can't just throw money at a gaming PC when you're trying to save for like other important life stuff. Like, sure, the 2K you spend on a gaming computer probably isn't going to make or break your ability to own a house, but it might give you like a good repair on your car or something like that. That's how Mafia works. I don't know if anyone's noticed the description for this one. I spent a little bit too long trying to remember the actual wording of the Powerpuff Girls intro. .172 FA-18 Hornet. How big is that going to be? Because 189, right? Or 182nd is HO scale? So it's not going to be that big, right? It's going to be like maybe a foot across? No, not even. How big is a wingspan on an FA-18? Excuse me. No, it won't tell me, apparently. Um, Variants. No, can I have, like, specifications? No. Oh, wait, there it is. Um, Wingspan, 40 feet. Yeah, so what, like 6 inches across? 187. Okay, yeah. Yeah, so it'd be like 6 inches across. That's pretty substantial. That's probably going to be a detailed looking model. Oh, it's oh. Interesting. Do kits like that tend to come in 00? I know that it's not a very popular actual scale. For the most part, when things don't have to fit on a track, I feel like a lot of the time model makers will just sort of do what's convenient. Alright, just scarf that down. Oh, hey, what's this? Oh, I got a thing from the WMF. Dear members and friends of the WMF Railway Museum, thanks to your continuing generosity, the 2021 annual fund drive was a great success. Wow. Raised over $140,000. Thanks to your enthusiasm. Open the mountain extension. Work on locomotive 11. Frame is now taking shape. I've seen some pictures of that. JW Bucker, that is HO scale, but scaled to OO, so it's like just real fat for the track. Clark Property Mortgage, Fossil Property Mortgage, Locomotive 11, Coach 9, Fire Prevention and Water Tank, Vacuum Brakes, Equip the Rolling Stock. Oh. Engine House Fund and Construction Equipment Replacement. And this is tax deductible too. I've donated money to the T1 Trust, and I've donated money to the WMNF, and I think I should focus on the WMNF. Like, they're here, you know? That was the wrong button. Alright, I'm back. So, we need to get back to work. So this, like, diversion of watching this guy tool around the yard has really just been a diversion. I didn't take, Mopac, are there sane Americans? Yes, up in Alna, and yes, they have. TJ and I were actually on, or Sakosho Films and I were actually on the first revenue train across the bridge to the end of the line at top of the mountain, which is very exciting. It was an absolute blast. TJ, I know you weren't on. Were you on the last podcast? No, right? No, you weren't on the last podcast. When we found out the MBTA equipment was on fire, that's the equipment that I thought might have belonged to the Mass Bay Railroad enthusiast at some point. The RDCs that were sitting next to, or just outside of North Station. I'd hate to see how they look now. I need to get back up to Maine, mostly because, like, every day I wake up outside of Maine, and, scream and punch the wall. But ship's design 1/72nd scale. War spite. I blame this for what I'm doing. Yeah. 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 That was ugh. I mean, this one's off the island. It's not an actual island. Oh hey. Hey Hem. Uh But yeah, it is really something. Only 1 month away from being in Maine for 3 days. I am like what 3 weeks away from being in Shreveport for 3 days. Um, I don't have once again being like the invisible class one. Has there been any word out of KCS about the strike? Like at all? I haven't heard a single piece of correspondence or news that involves KCS. Um, it's a British Rail Class 24. All right, so this is what we need to do. I'm stuck in my house for 5 hours. Okay. So driver setup. Now, I don't know how much I want to break this down. Oh yeah, this is a GR 1999. So this is one I should have been looking at, but drive to Mason Valley Platform 1. Um, so yeah, I need this guy to pull into the station, which he's already pulled into. Um, and I think I'll just have him wait there. And then leave and then go to the other station, which is what I already have programmed. Again, this is what I should have been looking at. I forgot that I already programmed him, at least in part. Being in Brooklyn around in the MTA's nostalgia trains, awesome. Um, YouTube needs user cards in the chat. Oh yeah. So you're gonna pull up here, pull the engine off, pull out, go over here, spin the engine around, and then get back on the train. So that means we need track marks at the ends of the platform here. Or else I'm going to need my standards as usual. Alright, you. Actually, we don't need one at this end yet. We do need one, well, like here. We need one, like, right on the bridge. Although, I don't know if this is on the standard gauge or the narrow gauge. Because we're using the check rails. There goes the cat and the dog. Here's what I can do. They're doing something. Tell me I didn't move the track mark. I didn't. Nice. Okay. So we need to name both of these. This one is going to be... Alright, let me double check this. As always, because I don't remember what my standards are. Shame on me, right? Railroad town description number. So this is GE. The town is MV. Description is station... Station North? Station North. Alright. GMV Station North doesn't have a number because there's only one of it. And then GEMV bridge. I mean, this is the only. I mean, this is the major bridge, right? There's this. Actually, I'll call this South Bridge. GMV South Bridge. Okay. And now, hello, my darling.
Hi, how was everything?
It was good, thank you. I like the spicy cheese.
Yeah. I saw it was open. I was like, I want some of this.
Yeah, I made a sandwich with it yesterday. Okay, so this is GEMV turntable tail, turntable 2. GEMV turntable 1. Okay, how do I do this? I can just tell it to go right to the turntable, right? Because it'll pull out to over here. and then it'll back down onto the turntable, and then I'll have it spin all the way around, and then, yeah. So if this is position 1, which I don't know if it is, but if it is position 1, it means 1, 2, 3, 4 will flip it all the way around. Although I kind of want to move it 3, so we're going to have to figure that one out. And we're going to have to copy this all over again later. So we'll just do unload and then wait for 5 seconds. And then uncouple from, oh, it uncouples from 1, so that would be the first car behind the tender. And then actually I might even just say, like, drive to track mark, GE MV turntable 2, right? Because that's the one over there. GE MV turntable 2, yeah. So go there, and then let's see, where is it? Move turntable, MVGE. Oh crap! All right, hold on. Input table's right there. Turntable, Mason's Valley Roundhouse GR8. So this is going to be turntable, GE MV turntable, or sorry, MVGE Roundhouse. MVGE Roundhouse. Wait, why is that backwards? Because it's a facility, so it should be town location railroad description. So MVGE Roundhouse. Oh yeah, that's correct. Town location or town railroad description. Okay. I'm getting myself hung up over here. Edit this once again. And this is not great that we have to fill it in on here, but this has got to be the way it is right now. So, turntable 2, move turntable, Mason Valley, GE Roundhouse, stop number, that's 0, 1, 2, 3. And I think in the future I'll have it take on coal and water, but for now I'm not going to bother with that. Stop number 3. Oh, you know what? Actually, first I'll have it move it to stop number 0. Move turntable. And then you can drive to it. And then move the turntable. And then just couple at track mark GEMV station north. And that's all that I feel like I really can do right now, because if I put in more, there's a chance we won't get to it because the turntable command will be screwed up. So, with that in mind, let's go and build something, and then we'll come back to this. And so there'd be like clock wipe, if I was that kind of person. All right, back to this. So I kind of want a sort of rough hillside, maybe like this. I don't know if this is, oops, that's way too big. Nice if Berkshire was a kid. You mean a Kanawha? I mean, I hope other people are as annoyed as I get with the. Well, we don't want to call the wheel arrangement that. We're just going to call it our own thing. It's like when you do it first, you get to name it. So there we go. We'll have some grass on this hillside. But what bugs me more than people coming up with names, it's fine if they're similar, like Northern Niagara. Okay, yeah, sure. But when it's like, we're not gonna call it a Santa Fe, we're gonna call it a Decapod. Like if they had called it something else, just like something else, like a Santa Claus or whatever, I would be much less annoyed with the SP just deciding that they get to name the thing also, but they're just gonna name it like the thing that something else is already called, because that's easy. That makes sense. Um, and I get it. They didn't have any decapods at the time, but that doesn't mean you get to just call this thing a decapod. Santa Cod, yeah. That's the guy who brings you fish. He drops fish down your chimney. What's that smell? Oh, sorry, that was just Santa Cod. He just came by in his flying fishing trawler pulled by 12 dolphins. Santa Cog. That's the New Hampshire version. I don't know. I'm gonna go with Santa Cod is exactly what I said it is. It's like Santa but for fish. I'm gonna have to spread these trees out. This is a lot of trees crammed into one like little narrow window. And we're gonna have to do this again because too many trees. Well, there's more space here. All right, do this. Santa Cog. We've created a new cryptid. If we still did rares online frequently, next locomotive, Santa Cog. Every night on Christmas Eve, Santa Cog descends the mountain on the Devil's Shingle to bestow the gift of frostbite to every hiker he sees. Yeah, Santa Cog, you don't want to be on his list. Um, his list is just dead people. No mistakes, just happy accidents. Yeah. No, I think they should have called it the banana type, because of the monkey bananas. That's really funny. I'm preempting the obligatory. Those people on the list died of unknown causes. Santa Cog is the unknown cause. He is the danger, okay? Actually, who was... I've never seen the Santa Claus movies. Is that is that Tim Allen in those movies? I can't remember. Because I'm just suddenly imagining Tim Allen as Santa beating hikers to death with a fish. Uh, Again, the Santa Cod thing is not going to leave my brain. It's just where we are. Yeah. I can just picture the face and hear the uh so that's where I'm at in life. Where the Tim Allen grunt will never leave me. Okay. Tim Allen Santa Cog. Did anybody else watch the Cog leave this morning? And for those who are unaware, the Mount Washington Cog has a YouTube channel and they live stream the base station. uh, and I got up this morning. The first train leaves at 8:30 Eastern time. And I got up this morning and I just scrubbed back to see it leave. And the thing that I wish the audio was better because the sound that the cog makes when it leaves the base station and just starts going up the hill. I mean, they don't touch that throttle like the whole way up. They just open it and leave it. Um, which is kind of crazy and kind of funny. Rip SP 5021. What happened to 5021? Yeah, see, the Santa Fe could get over it. Santa Fe out here proving that they're the bigger man in this conflict. Uh, listen, you don't want to be worse than the Santa Fe. Come on, guys. Uh, it is sort of comforting. It is. I totally agree. You get to be in a faraway land and go up a mountain. Do things that do things that are only allowed by man's hubris. Which incidentally, Sylvester Marsh got a shout out in what was it? The what was the episode of What Is Your Problem that came out recently that had Sylvester Marsh in it, or that had the Mount Washington Cog in it? I can't remember. It was a train related episode. Um, wait, was it the battery engine episode? Because oh, it was the cable car. Oh yeah, that's right. I was gonna say yeah. I know it was a train related episode, but the only recent like train related one that I could remember was the battery one, but it's because it wasn't explicitly a train related disaster. It was a mountain climbing disaster uh, that just happened to also be able to like be equated with trains because this is well there's your problem and everything has to tie back to trains at some point. Trains and or communism. Uh, sometimes when I introduce that podcast to people, uh, yeah, I mean it does. Everything does relate to trains somehow. Sometimes when I introduce that uh, podcast to people that are not leftists, I have to say like, listen, the hosts are a bunch of commies, but like the content is really good. You just have to get over that. Uh, and you know, for the most part, I mean, it stands on its own merits. And I mean, sometimes they don't even bring up the political aspect of XYZ. It's just like, wow, you know, like oversight could have prevented this. But you know, yeah, no, I mean that's the entire podcast. It's just trains and communism. Uh, it's leftists discuss disasters, um, and find a way to tie it back to trains every time. Which honestly, I know it's not disaster worthy, but I wish we had a podcast on just the cog railway. Um, I really want well, there's your problem takes on the Mount Washington cog, but the thing is, they're not a problem. Like they do okay. Now you're good, Matt. We haven't made fun of you lately. Um, I like scarf down food. Oh yeah, I miss Franklin so much. Uh, I I was surprised to see Justin actually post something, and I know it was the crossover podcast thing. Um, oh yeah, that's right. Okay, yeah, now I remember the story of 5021. SB said no, ATS said yes. Um, they could do yeah, they could do a bit on Pepper Sass's last run. They could do like a whole bit on like historic preservation, but bad for trains. Like they could have an episode where they talk about an anthology of things, including Pepper Sass's last run and Gettysburg, and just like Steamtown as it exists. And you know, let's see what else. What else is there? What else have we got for like big failures in preservation. Um, I want to say like the 419 fire, but that's not really a failure of preservation so much as it is an ecological condition. Um, what else? What else? I mean, I know other people know. I mean, just Ross Roland. I mean, he could be his own podcast. Yeah, what could be a 2 foot disaster? I don't know. The last years of the Wisconsin. I mean, the barrier railways, right? Uh, cause yeah, WNF wreck. Uh, I didn't. Hem, I remember you bringing something to the coffee shop some time ago that like introduced the barrier railways, if that's how you pronounce it. And just the hook was stellar. Like this is it's about like colonial. Oh, beta. It's pronounced beta. Oh wow. Uh, oh yeah, the concrete. I mean, hell, Colbrookdale. Give it like 6 months. Oh, and 1309. 1309 is deserving of maybe an episode on its own. Uh, Beira. Okay. I was gonna ask where the D came from, but I just kind of accepted it because you've studied this railroad and I haven't. Beta. Beta Railways. The Chad WWF versus the Beta SAR. Uh, Rebuilding your entire railroad from the ground up. Imagine building a train bridge over a windy body of water. Um, hmm. That's true. That's not a preservation thing, but yeah, no. The Florida East Coast could be up there. I mean, how about an episode on the Milwaukee Road? How about an episode on any of the things that we've created for Merger Mania? Any of those companies? Like, oh, it's Beta, Beta, Beta. There we go. Beta, Beta Railways. I get it. Uh, yeah, honestly, you could do an entire episode on the main 2 footers, but it wouldn't be like around why they failed as a concept. It's just more like why they aren't there anymore. Um, but yeah, then you're delving into things that are not specific to 2 foot. Uh, oops. Colbert, yeah, they're not bad yet. They just will be. Uh, you could do an episode on Iowa Pacific. That would make for a good episode. Um, Honestly, I'm kind of surprised they haven't done an episode on the Big Dig, which is not a railroad specific thing, but it's definitely something that's worthy of an episode. Um, I remember seeing that video and having a visceral reaction to the Armchair Urbanist Big Dig video because it it bothers me at like a basic level when people crap on the Big Dig. And and I just said it would make a perfect episode. It deserves it, but it bothers me because I know that the more people talk bad about the Big Dig, the less chance of ever getting anything like that in the like near future, you know? And it's so necessary. We need to, we need to like reframe all of our thinking about the Big Dig and just be like, yeah, no, these sorts of expenditures and these sorts of, these things, they have to happen. Uh and I know that I didn't end up watching the whole video, so like it could just, I could be judging it based on its cover, but I hate clickbait. uh not that that necessarily is but I suppose what I'm trying to say is your titles that give a visceral reaction sometimes just make people not want to observe the thing, you know. Uh, but I need to go back and watch that video. It just bugs me, because doing those sorts of capital improvements is really important. And I know it's a highway project, so train good, car bad. Uh, but everyone always talks about how bad the big dig was, and I'm usually the only person saying like, hey, it wasn't that bad. Like it worked. It did what it came to do, which was put the highway underground. Uh, even if it didn't do everything that it could have done or everything that it was supposed to do, it is an improvement. Uh, and I feel like I'm worried about. I'm always worried about, I suppose. Uh, like losing. Also, there's way too many trees in this patch. Seriously, this is from like my double stacked tree copy paste, and it's too big. Um, uh, you don't want to lose good enough, or you don't want to lose good in pursuit of perfect, you know. And I feel like that's something that a lot of people don't necessarily care about anyway. I don't know. It just feels like I don't know. We're in a less compromising society than than ever, I suppose. It seems like anyway. And there's statistics to back that up. It's not one of those things where you just hear about it more because it's because of the prevalence of technology and being able to understand things. We are in a sort of unprecedented era of not compromise, whatever the opposite of compromise is, and it just worries me that we're never going to make any forward progress for want of perfection, I suppose. You know, we can't do that because it's not as good as this other thing. Uh, but you need to do A to get to B, or at the very least, you're never going to get B without A in between. Um, like realistically speaking, I don't know. That's my trouble with things. That's my trouble with a lot of things. So I mean, that's in a nutshell my trouble with politics of right now. Uh, you know, whether I agree with people or not, and oftentimes I am agreeing with people, but I'm saying like, tone it down. Like, we need to. Yeah, I agree. We need to get there, but we need to like move in that direction. We can't just jump. You know, we're not. What's the word? We're not creating stuff from scratch here. As nice as it would be. Maybe when we go and like colonize Mars, we'll be able to build a civilization and society from scratch, and uh, then things can be perfect, like right from the get go. Uh, you could do an episode about Maine Two-Foot if favored through the lens of these rural railway connections being undercut because of the need for profit motive. Yeah, no, I absolutely agree, and that's probably the way you would do a 2-foot gauge episode. The only issue is you are, that is you're sort of artificially narrowing the scope of it then to 2 foot, and I don't even know if it's the best example. You know, it is something that's sort of with the terminal switching episode of Well There's Your Problem. That's sort of the meat and potatoes of it, right? Uh, so if you end up making this episode on this specifically, like on 2 foot specifically, you might lose out on sort of talking about the larger picture or like the more impactful things. I feel like you could do this with Beacon Yard in Boston as sort of an example of getting rid of well, I suppose you know what, that's the flip side of the same coin. Uh, yeah, Newfoundland Railroad. Yeah, exactly. Sorry. I missed you saying that. I was in my own little world over here. I apologize. Point is, you're absolutely right. Um, and they really the Newfie episode and um the Newfie episode and the um oh my god, the urban freight rail episode. Those are like two sides of the same coin, which is our diminished ability to use trains for things. Um, yeah, but what if you went on while there's your problem to talk about the beta? That would be oh, there we go. We got a foot in the door. Oh wait, I don't want to do this. What I want to do is I want to do the bulk asset update replace. And here's the thing: if I drop this in, I can say randomly delete 10% of the scenery objects. And I want to do it in current section only. Alright, the trees will be thinned slightly. Um, I just want to reduce the amount of trees we have. Red oak. Oh, sorry. Replace the red oak with the red oak. 10% randomly rotate. Begin. And then we'll do the same thing with the birch trees, which I think is just the birch 001. Yeah, there it is. Get rid of, get rid of. I mean, if you consider me, you're only like what is it, like a 4 Kevin Bacon's away from the well, there's your problem cast. So it's not impossible. I can ask someone to ask someone to ask someone, and then boom, there we go. Oh, I need to hide the search filter, please. Alright, now that this is a little bit more manageable. Oh yeah, that's right, Tyler's maybe even closer. Forgot about that. He was an RO, yeah, exactly. You pull strings. Wings and strings. Alright. Gonna get the edge of the farm here. Just doing this, using this square section. I mean, we could go bigger if we wanted to, but if we can just get this filled in, I know we still need to do the grass. It's 8:30. Ooh. Yeah, Matt, yeah, kinda should, Alright, there we go. One of my keys on my keyboard is like jingling, which is unusual and slightly concerning. Alright. There. It's one of my bracket keys, so it's not the most important thing in the world, but when it comes to doing route building, kind of. Out of the corner of my eye, when Matt wrote, well, there's your problem on Railroads Online, I just, because it's all acronyms, my brain tried to make a word out of it, and the word I got was typo. In the corner of my eye, it looked like Matt just wrote typo. Which, sure, brain. Why not? Okay, what now? Need to get the edge here. On eminent domain versus NIMBYism. Honestly, Texas Central could get its own. Well, there's your problem once we get there. I mean, kind of surprised. They seem to not do like developing stories. That's what the Terminus podcast is for. But you know, They have so many episodes that they could do, and it's just like, you know, we need to wait until one of these things tickles the fancy of the podcast crew, and then we'll have an episode on them. Uh, just someday, right? Do they still have a Discord? I know that they had some problems. Um, I need to go watch the new bonus episode on sword fighting. I think it's called "How to Die with a Sword." I really just want to die in a boiler explosion, but everyone here already knows that. Fairness on the Queen, a lot of British people are fairly public. I mean, one thing is the fact that we're getting mad over another country's loss and being publicly verbose and rude about it. I mean, I have mixed feelings. Well, I don't really have that mixed of feelings, I guess. I don't have one of the typical feelings of, like, ding dong, the queen is dead, or, like, oh no, the queen is dead, be sad. Like, Queen Elizabeth, yeah, there's reasons to dislike the monarchy, there's reasons to dislike, like, the royal family, but QE2 herself is not really, like, far, far from the most reprehensible figure in that sort of sphere, Stoic neutrality, yeah, but just feel like it's so much ado. Just from, I mean, I get like you've lost your country's head, and so I feel for the mourning of British people. I feel for the mourning of people that cared about her, but it's like it's just another celebrity that died. And I don't I don't necessarily think that the mourning that the UK is doing is wrong. Maybe it's a little over the top, but whatever. Um, she was the monarch for 70 years, and I know that again, monarchy is monarchy, and it's not really a system that is well valid in the present times. But it just strikes me as like, again, I'm having trouble formulating my thoughts about this, which is surprising considering how much I've thought about it. Uh, because on the one hand, like, she's an important and historical figure. Uh, like, for the people that are not British or not members of the UK that are upset about this, that's fine. Like, again, Queen Elizabeth has been a fixture of the world for 70 years, and losing something like that is pretty earth shaking. Or it can be for a lot of people, and there's nothing wrong with that. And at the same time, the people that are like celebrating it, it doesn't sit right because I feel like people are celebrating for reasons that are basically irrelevant to Queen Elizabeth in particular. If it was the end of the monarchy, then yeah, okay, then that's plenty of reasons to celebrate. I don't think the monarchy really does anything useful. Uh, it doesn't really do anything at all, which is sort of the whole thing about it, and why I don't think that this celebration is particularly valuable. But you know, uh, Queen Elizabeth herself, I just don't. I feel like it's celebrating something for unrelated reasons. You know, it's uh, it's symbolic. It's celebrating the death of a symbol, but she wasn't really this, like, I don't know. She wasn't really that. You know. Uh, again, if the monarchy was ended, uh, that'd be a different story. Like that's a reason to celebrate. Um, you know, but again, I wouldn't. I still wouldn't care. Uh,
Unfortunately, my grandparents can't get it.
you can't find a passport.
Yeah.
No, that's a shame.
She said she's won her whole house apart.
Oh,
Still couldn't find it. She said, I guarantee you it's laughing me in the face right now.
oh.
It probably is, but unless you screw people. He's like, yeah, this guy that was went to the registry.
Was privy to and oversaw colonial crimes in order, but it's not like she did anything about it. I mean, love you too. Reasonably, what power would the queen have had to do anything about that? I'm not saying it necessarily absolves QE of this stuff, but I mean, part of it is, I mean, I hate to wash it away as just it comes with the territory, but I don't know. Uh, tell them to stop publicly. Yeah, okay, fair enough, I guess. But now I feel like we're back to sort of the we're judging someone on standards that are, I mean, hell, like the only reason that this is sort of the only reason that that's controversial is because she was still alive now. You know, I feel like if the queen had died, you know, 40 years ago, well, you know, that sort of thing happening in colonies is certainly nothing new, but has waned over the recent centuries and decades. I just I don't think that she was a standout of the ruling class, but I don't think that she was like remarkably worse than anyone, you know, anyone in that position. I just feel like it's a lot to put on someone who doesn't have much, that didn't have much real power, and that I don't know. I don't know. She definitely wasn't better than than, well, I don't even know if your average monarch, but definitely not better than your average monarch of the present day. But it's not like that can, I don't know. It seems like a bridge too far to me. Uh, no, you okay? Yeah, but that's a normal royalty thing, TJ. Uh, no, and I agree with you. You have to judge people, you know, so that they to. I agree with you, but when you're making a judgment of someone, you have to understand like the product of the times of which they are a product, and the origin of which they are a product. Like it's the people that are stand out, and they're going to be stand out. But sometimes someone is stand out in their era, and to us is still shameful. And when they're no longer alive or no longer relevant, I find it difficult, or really not difficult, just sort of pointless to grade them on a modern scale. You know? Again, I feel like if she was dead decades ago, it wouldn't have been nearly as controversial. It wouldn't have been nearly as as like talked about. Obviously we wouldn't be having these conversations, but like there'd be no reason to have these conversations. Sure, the people of the past aren't absolved of their crimes, but I feel like celebrating in the manner that's being done, and sort of putting this burden on Queen Elizabeth, on the late Queen Elizabeth. It's just, it doesn't strike me as fair. It doesn't strike me as giving someone the fairest of shakes. And I again, I feel like we're back to where we started, back what I was talking about with losing good in the pursuit of perfect. And it's like, I don't know. I'm having trouble compiling my thoughts today in general, but I don't know. It just doesn't sit right with me. Like, yes, reprehensible things happened while she was in power, if you can even call it that. And yes, it would have been nice if she condoned those things, or if she did not, if she openly spoke out against those things. But who did? You know? And are there any leaders of that era that sort of actively went against that grain? Because I feel like context is necessary. Well, yeah, the people who were colonized, but obviously they're of a different class. They are the oppressed in this conflict. Like, no kidding, they're going to. I'm I don't feel like it's I just don't feel like it's reasonable. I feel like it's celebrating something for the wrong reasons. I feel like it's celebrating the end of something that it's not the end of, and that it's not even really an impactful moment in. The queen's death, it doesn't change anything. It doesn't mean that things are going to change. It doesn't mean that courses are going to change. It doesn't mean that people are suddenly going to be held accountable that weren't before. It doesn't mean anything. You can point to a lot, but I feel like we're just back to pointing to humans doing human things. And by that I just mean, I don't know. It feels like, washing away the sins to just say that nobody's perfect. People in power or people with wealth have the power to be more imperfect than the average person. And yeah, we should hold them to a high standard, but it just doesn't strike me as I don't know. It didn't matter much to me personally. I didn't really care about the Queen at all, or royalty. I probably couldn't even tell you, like, most of their names. and I had almost certainly forgotten all of them before, the events of a couple weeks ago. But no, I think that's what it is. It's just celebrating the, you know, celebrating the death of someone who is flawed a politician as most of the rest of them, if you could call her that, is flawed a celebrity as most of the rest of them, and whose death represents nothing, whose death represents no change, no real, alteration of the status quo. It's just an old woman having died, and you can reflect on the good things and the bad things, or perhaps more appropriately, you cannot reflect at all because it's just an old woman who has a who has a lot of money and a lot of land. Had, I suppose. And a fancy title. Honestly, I think I don't know. I don't know about link to the past or I mean, yeah, on some level I feel like it's on some level it is like there are very few people that were around for the thing. I mean, she was an old woman. She was an old woman, and that's significant in its own way. Uh, you know, and I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what it means. I don't know what it balances out to. I just don't. I just don't think the fervor is fair. I feel like it's it's almost too much to ask for people to be seen as gray. I don't know. Maybe it's too negative. Maybe I'm just missing something. Obviously I don't care for colonizers. Obviously I don't care for, you know, the ill doers of the world. Like, no, and there's no love lost for me for the things that, or there's like obviously I condemn the things that people are condemning about what happened under Queen Elizabeth's reign. But I just don't feel like it's reasonable to tie it all back to her and to cheer because she's dead, because it doesn't change anything. It's not like she masterminded any of this. It's not like she's personally responsible for any of this. It's not. What, break it to me? Yeah, no, of course we do. And that's not good. Uh, what do you think? Like that we're some that the United States is immune from like being the bad guys? No, we're the bad guys all the time. Uh, and maybe not always. Certainly not always, but plenty of the time. Uh, but that's what I mean. I mean, I don't know. I can understand the reasons to hate. I can, I suppose. And the more I think about it, the more the more I get it. It's like, but it's just so unimpactful. It just all feels like an overreaction to me. Yeah, sure. I don't. I don't think I was alive the last time a former president died. Um, and of course, I definitely wasn't alive the last time an acting president died. But uh, it doesn't strike me that there would be this sort of pomp and circumstance. It doesn't strike me that there would be this sort of, well, anything. I mean, positive, negative. Okay, yeah. Well, when did Bush Senior die? Oh, that's right. It was 2018. Yeah. Uh, that is recent. And once again, I'm sort of faced with the nobody cared that much. It seems like nobody cared that much. It seems like, certainly compared to the Queen, the positive and negative responses to that were just, I don't know. We're muted in comparison. I remember the train. But I don't know. I guess that's kind of what I mean. If she was symbolic and had no real power, why does her death matter so much? Why are hospitals putting off surgeries to mourn her death? I clearly because they because she's a very powerful symbol. You know, I don't I don't have necessarily those answers. I don't know why the queen matters so much to people, but it isn't because she's a powerful person. Um, I feel like I feel like the queen is almost like the pope in that regard, where the pope can say whatever the heck, and he's ostensibly the head of something immensely large and powerful. But what does that really do? What could the pope really say? What could the pope really make happen? And I don't know what the answer is, but I don't think it's very much. Uh, these are not the silos I was using. Uh, silo. There we go. Hmm. Oh yeah, no, Dean. I think I know what you're talking about. But I don't know. Hold on. I need a truck. There we go. A little extra in this. Yeah. No, I just don't know. I just don't know. I don't. I can't say. I can't say why the Queen matters so much to the British people, or other people. But I can't say why celebrities matter so much to people. You know, the Queen's just a celebrity for a whole damn country. Uh, you know, and you can start pulling apart the history of it. You can do whatever you want, but it just, mm, I don't know. Something about it just doesn't sit right with me. I mean, I can't say I feel any sympathy but it just seems like a lot on all sides. You know, for the most part, when I see people when I see all the mourning, when I see all the mourning, yeah, okay, I get it on some level. Uh, I'm not there, obviously, so I can't sit here and sort of ruminate on what it's like to be dealing with this. Uh, but I don't know. When I see all the mourning, I I cannot understand. And I say that as not like a oh I don't get it, but just like I know that I won't be able to because I have never felt that way about somebody. I've never, you know, about a celebrity, about a leader, about, you know, about a famous person. I've never felt like someone that I don't know I am so closely like familiar with or you know that matters so much, you know. Uh, so I just you know I just have to sit here and say well like listen I don't get it and I never will and that's that and I'm not about to sit here and critique what you know clearly at least a good portion of the nation seems to think is perfectly okay like and it's not because of some policy decision. It's not me going, well, I mean, you know, it's you know, insert reprehensible thing here that you know certain countries will still have on the books. It's not that. It's it's just overdoing a funeral for someone who clearly you know means a lot to a large portion of the country because they are effectively the face of that country and have been for 70 years. Uh, I will never understand. I can't. I'm not capable of it. I don't think there's going to be a leader or a celebrity or whatever in my lifetime that is going to mean that much to me because I'm never going to have the opportunity for a leader to mean that much to me because we're the United States. We don't keep leaders for 70 years. And hell, most celebrities aren't relevant for 70 years. Uh, there would probably be some real upset people if William Shatner died. But William Shatner isn't in charge of a country, uh, or you know, I use in charge of loosely. So I don't know. It just the criticisms thereof, they just don't seem right to me because I feel like for the most part they're you know, especially when I you know hear my fellow Americans or you know people who aren't in the UK or at least in the Commonwealth say it, we don't know. Like we can't know why this morning is so important to so many people. But sorry, I'm trying to focus on more than one thing at a time. Uh, I don't know. Just doesn't sit right with me. all the criticisms just doesn't sit right with me. I mean, yeah, the criticisms of the morning and the criticisms uh, of of the queen herself. I understand some of it is very valid. Some of it is very valid and meaningful. And the again, she's far from perfect. Her family is far from perfect. I I just hesitate to celebrate because of it. Because it's not, I don't know, it doesn't affect anyone. No one's freed by this. The only thing that happened is she's dead now. And yeah, I mean, it's a stretch to always say like, oh, you don't need to make fun of a dead person. If being dead changes the status quo like massively, then sure, yeah, and it massively for the better. Yeah, I mean, I understand why people would want to cheer for that. Like if, you know, if hell, I bet when no, I'm not gonna go there. If you had a reprehensible leader or at least one that you really didn't like, no. If you had, okay, let's go with like even then, there's too much nuance. There's too much nuance in the world, and I hate that because no matter what, it's almost impossible to find something that is going to be universally agreed upon, and I feel it's dangerous to make these metaphors because you're going to find someone who says, "Well, that person wasn't actually that bad," but if Queen Elizabeth was an acting head of state and an active head of state with power to do things, and was, oh hell, hey, let's do this. If someone shot Putin tomorrow, people would probably cheer because it gives the opportunity for a status quo change. It gives the opportunity for someone else to come in and say like, hey, we don't all want this invasion to happen, um, and it gives the opportunity for for like not perfectly, but some amends to be made, you know, and the chance that some people can that this war can end. Yeah, and exactly right. At least it gives the chance for that. I mean, there's no guarantee that that a person who replaces Putin would not share the same sort of feelings and continue the thing, but there's a chance, you know? There's a chance. And right now there isn't. And if that happened, then yeah, I could understand that that this could be celebrated. But it just doesn't I don't think that tracks with the Queen. I don't think that tracks with Queen Elizabeth. It just, what's the point? What are you really celebrating? Because at the end of the day, you're just celebrating someone being dead. And what even kind of celebration is that? And if this ends up in dismantling the monarchy, then absolutely cheer for the dismantling of the monarchy. Like that's that's fine. That I get. Like that, the monarchy is the thing, you know. And it's not like a monarchy is uniquely bad and other systems of government can't cause problems. But if you want to talk about a relic, if you want to talk about a thing that's driven so much, hatred and trouble, if the monarchy gets dismantled as a result of this, That's that is a better thing to cheer about than the death of the queen. At the very least, that is a far better thing to cheer about than the death of one woman, one 96-year-old woman, or 96, 92, 93. How old was the queen? Point is, yeah, no, it's not. It just seems like cheering at nothing. Um, Littoral combat ships. And yeah, no, I'm not a monarchist. I am. I feel like you have to put that disclaimer on things. I feel like whenever you want to play devil's advocate, whenever you want to like have a discussion beyond like thing bad, thing good, you have to clarify, or you have to at least try to, either ahead of time or afterward, you have to clarify what your actual feelings are, lest you be vilified for the feelings that people assume you have. Like I am not I'm not mourning the queen. Uh, I wouldn't be mourning the monarchy. I honestly feel like I couldn't care less because the monarchy isn't really doing anything anymore. But there are definitely people and peoples that have been subjugated by that very monarchy, and that would be very happy to see it gone, very rightfully so. Um, I don't necessarily think that all ties back to late Queen Elizabeth, but that's kind of what I mean. Uh, Less monarchs in the world, the better. Unfortunately, we are net zero on monarchs because of the Queen dying. Um, you know, I'm not a monarchist. I'm not exactly an anti-monarchist because I just couldn't care less. But if you asked me to pick a system of government, I would probably not pick a monarchy. Um, I'm not gonna go out there and sort of rally for the abolition of monarchies in general, but I don't think they're necessary. Uh, and I feel like there are much larger fish to fry than dealing with the extant monarchies of the world. I really don't think it changes much at this point. Um, yeah, MOPAC does not condone communist dictatorships. I mean, yeah, that's the other thing. I mean, again, you have to you have to state all of the facets and nuance of your position whenever possible, lest you be strawmanned into something far beyond yourself. Because we live in a sensationalist world where either everything is perfect and good or everything is bad and evil. Um, if you want to get an American really heated talk about rewriting the Constitution, yeah, I mean, it's. I bet if the Constitution died, there'd be a week-long funeral. Uh, Invoke the 10th. Uh, Congress should probably just be one house. I mean, I don't know. I don't know. You you look at all these options for how to make a government, right? There's a million different possible permutations. You could have Congress and a single Congress and a genuine hereditary leader, like an actual monarch, but with powers balanced in some way. You can have a direct democracy. You can have a which is fairly simple in theory, as long as you can get the mechanics to work and the people to be educated. Uh, you you um you can have a million. There's many ways to have a government, and if you want to look at the future, and again, you can't really have a clean slate anymore. There really aren't places on Earth where you can just like pop up a brand new country anymore, unless you wanted to see if anyone will throw you out of Antarctica. Uh, So sure, in the distant future, when we colonize Mars or whatever, and we have to build a civilization from nothing, yeah, okay, now we can start getting creative with what to do in like a short time span. And but as for the rest of us stuck on Earth, it's like, okay, well, what do we do with what we've got? You know, okay, yeah, maybe we should. I'll throw that around as an idea because that's really interesting and like a neat thought or suggestion. Uh, we're doing in government. I convinced my committee that we should set up a dictatorship. I mean, on the one hand, a dictatorship can be the worst kind of government, pretty much. And dictatorship and monarchy are not like mutually exclusive. In fact, they're kind of like synonyms. It just depends on how you get the dude in power, right? Uh, there are a lot of words that sort of mean the same thing, you know, uh, in when it comes to talking governments and economies and things like that. And there are a lot of words that are taken to mean more or less the same thing or be in the same category that aren't, like like democracy and communism. They're not. One is a system of government. The other one is a system of it's an economic system, a system of economy. Nah, that sounds right. Uh, you can have a democratic communist society, or you can have a a dictatorship that's capitalist, or you can have any mix of the above, or you can have a million other things. I've never played Tropico. I've kind of wanted to try it. The things I've heard about it make me want to try it. Uh, but on the small scale, and I this is going to be taken out of context. A dictatorship can be a good thing. Why? Because sometimes you have the choice between designing by committee and a guy who knows what he's doing. And it's like, okay, if you're making a coding project, but nobody else in the room knows how to code, like let the dude who does know be in charge, And that's not a situation that tends to happen every day, but it's definitely not a situation that tends to happen. When you're talking about governments, again, because you don't usually tend to just be able to go and hit the reset button and just come up with a new government. Um, I mean, you can via like a civil war, but that's not always the best thing to do. Um, but it's like, okay, yeah, you can take one guy with a dream versus people that sort of know what they're doing, but they're, committee leadership. You end up designing by committee and you build something that is not really good for anything in particular. Maybe it's okay all the way around. Uh, there are places where one dude, and dude being a gender neutral term, can be fairly, useful to have. That said, when it comes to like governing over people, you kind of want to be able to elect your leaders. And when it comes to governing over a lot of people, you kind of want to be able to have some sort of nuance there where you don't just put the one guy and then he's like, yeah, this is what I think. And because 51% of you liked me, and first past the post is garbage, 51% of you liked me, uh, then I'm going to do the thing. Yeah, you need a system that's robust against bad actors. You need a system that won't break down because of one person. So a system that can only stand up because of one person isn't a very good system. Like in a short term, in a very controlled environment, sure, but there's a reason why democracy, despite being, it is as they say, the worst form of government except for all the other ones. You can't. It's tougher. Not you can't. It's tougher to have a tyrannical evil leader in a democracy because generally they'll just get voted out. Depends how short your terms are. No, FDR had 3.5 terms because he died. Uh, but again, it comes back to people did keep voting him in. Like, he did win an election multiple times on the basis of doing FDR things. Like, if you get now term limits are another conversation, but in defense of FDR, he just kept running and they kept voting for him. I don't. It's not really his fault that that's what the people wanted, so to speak. I thought he had 3.5. Uh, serving gunshot and mocking the shooter. Was that not the other Roosevelt? Uh, and yeah, I mean, you could say it's because of his policies. You could say it's because of a world war. You could say it's because of a lot of things, but he had to be doing something right, you know? If I feel like the stakes are real high when there's a world war or there's like an economic depression or, both at once, uh, those stakes are very high. And if you slip up, the hammer's coming down on you, you know? Uh, yeah, he did pack the Supreme Court. Not stellar. Uh, I mean, ends justify the means? Question mark. But it's sort of like you start messing with the system, and the system continues to get messed with. Uh, if you're the only one who knows how to mess with the system, don't show other people how to mess with the system. Uh, no, but no, and Mopac, you're absolutely right. Again, this nobody is perfect. Our leaders, especially so. Our leaders are under the most pressure, the most scrutiny, and they have the most power. They have the most ability to make a mess, and that's not necessarily a negative mess, not necessarily a positive mess, just to cause a lot of change or to affect a lot of things. And those changes, those things are going to reflect on those people. And no matter what, no one's going to be 100% in anyone's book. I feel like if somebody is 100% in your book, you need to reevaluate that person, or you need to reevaluate how you make your book. Like, even if they did all sorts of great things, maybe they did sketchy things to get there. Even if they, played perfectly by the rules, maybe they didn't actually get anything done because of it. And yeah, the rules and the framework is there for a reason, and good ideas are there to be used. And I can never condone, like, I can never outright condone someone manipulating the system for their own benefit, or even like for the benefit of the greater good. That manipulating the system is manipulating the system. The system, you've now damaged the sanctity of the system, and people know that it can be manipulated. You've opened the door to other problems, and you know you've done an overreach. It's not good. Uh, is it worse than the alternative? Who's to say? You know, it's sort of we're back to the we're back to the current day. We're back to okay, let's talk about nationalizing the rail network. Well, I don't want the rail network to be nationalized, says many. I don't really trust it in the hands of the government. And I say, sure, but the only question you really need to be asking is, will this definitely be worse than what's going on right now? And when it comes to this specific issue, it's the answer is definitely not a clean yes. Could it be worse? Yeah, it could be, I suppose. Will it be worse? We don't know. We don't think so. And we know, like, the state everything is in, things can go downhill fast. Um, so it's everything is just shades of gray. You know, 2 mile long. Yeah. Uh, but the people that are against nationalization are against it for a reason, and that doesn't make the stance invalid. But sometimes you have to do something a little bit controversial to prevent something way worse from happening. And that's sort of a that's a paradox in and of itself, right? Gigantic trains are cool in a way, but they're not great. Um, Sometimes you can't fix the system explicitly operating within it. I would say explicitly because that doesn't, saying that sort of opens the door to, well, now we have to go outside of the system. But it's not, it's not all or nothing, you know, is what I'm trying to say. I feel like we lose ourselves, to come back to it again, we lose ourselves in the all or nothing. Well, sometimes you can't fix a system strictly operating within it. Sometimes the system isn't designed to be fixed from the inside. It, I would say that's the case with the state of the Class One railroads. I wouldn't necessarily say that's the case with some of the more flexible governments of the world. Like within the U.S. government, there is framework to dramatically reform it so long as people are on board. It's the getting the people on board that is the difficult part, and you know when there are bad actors, it becomes much harder. Uh, but that doesn't mean that to take it to the extreme, that doesn't mean the only answer is civil war, right? Um, it's you know it's it's an issue with with facets, with gray, with, well, is this strictly within the system, or is this sort of pushing the boundaries of what the system is and means? Uh, so you can do, I don't know. That's what I really mean. Uh, yeah, I mean, really, that's why we should elect all CEOs with a nationwide election. I'm voting for Peyton Manning. I'm writing in Peyton Manning for the head of CSX. Will it? Will nationalization? I see, guy. It's not really a question of will it work. It's will it work better than what we're dealing with right now. Uh, the culture thing, we can figure that out. The the like vast landscape, we can figure that out. The thing is, like, the class ones are walking down a path that is not good, that is not helpful, that only leads in one direction, and it's down. And there might be other ways out of it, uh, but I don't necessarily know what those are. It's just a question of, will nationalization be worse than letting the class ones do whatever they want? And sure, USRA wasn't perfect, and it was a temporary measure, and it was sort of a wartime condition. It was kind of a different. It was a different answer for a different question, if you ask me. Uh, but even if it is a short timeline, oh, I'm stuck in this, aren't I? Even if it is a short timeline, even if we only nationalize, if we were to nationalize, we only nationalize for a little while, and then so what? Then am I stuck here? I don't think it's to make nationalization easier. Let me out. CEO of Pan Am? Yeah. I'm gonna have to kill this. I had to kill the game. Hold on, let me reopen it. It wouldn't let me out. I don't know if it ever will. I've never sat here long enough. I just wanted to do like an AI test before we ended today. Um, Games 2022. Sorry about this, guys. Start Trainz. I don't think we can know what. Uh, all right, hold on. I don't think we can know what nationalization will be like if the U.S. railroads were to nationalize. We we have no idea. You know, um, many of the examples in the world are similar-ish, or you can pull aspects from them, but I don't know. The postal service works anyway. Remove all grade crossings. Institute train cannon. Alright, hold on. Save as. Save new route and session. 13. You have to have a DOD number. Yeah, no, I don't. Oh, please let me out this time. It's working, yay. Alright, back to select route, please. This one, we have a new version. And the thumbnail's broken again. Awesome. I mean, something's gonna have to give. I don't. I know that the strike may or may not be averted at this point because there were some negotiations done, but the workers still don't seem happy about it. So, yeah, it's more like taking risks for money. Yeah, everyone likes the postal service. Where's this train? Oh, it's on the other side of the hill here. It's gonna take what, 7 minutes to get here? I mean, I'm just gonna let this guy go, so we can watch him. So, go. Happening in 2 hours. I mean, maybe. We don't really know. Uh, we will have to see if people show up or not. I think that I think that things are going to be delayed um, because of the deal, and things need to get voted on again. Yada yada. Um, it may be delayed slightly. Wait, like PA Highway 62? Or oh, that's I'm thinking of 61. Um, yeah, I don't know if they're allowed to strike either right now. Again, I'm pretty sure they still need to go through the strike vote again with the new deal. US 62. I'm not familiar, unfortunately. I'm sorry. Um, hello, Welsh. Uh, we're talking about nationalizing the rail network. You missed a whole discussion on the Queen. Um, railroads are asleep. Yeah, exactly. I mean, hey, if you've seen the videos coming out of Cheyenne, that might happen, I guess. I can only speculate. I have no insider information. But it does seem like they're having a lot of fun with 4014 all of a sudden. Um, so, who's to say how that turns out? Um, maybe Steamtown would get better funding. I mean, let's not go crazy here. Now you're being unrealistic. I like that area. This is the first train that's come down here in a long time in terms of the automated session. And it's lagging out. um, oh, there's the Burma Shave signs over here. Free, free. a trip to Mars for 900 empty jars. Burma Shave. This was not sponsored. I might want to up the speed limit on this run. 385 will probably get restored by Sylvis at some point. The stuttering is not great. It's because there are too many trees. I can hear it. It doesn't sound good. Oh, this doesn't have any crossing boards. Oh, it's because of the doodad. There it is. Oh man, mega stutter step. What is maxing out? Nothing. Oh wait, probably GPU. Yeah, it is. It runs a touch better when I'm not recording. But this area is tough. I mean, there's a lot of trees in this area. That's mostly what it is. I mean, if I turn down the graphics, if I like turn shadows off, it would probably be fine. This cream is like a parachute. There isn't any substitute. Yeah. What train are we following? This is the branch line passenger train for the Valley Line. Okay, just jam on the brakes like that. Oh, and because this junction is... I need to automatically reset these. I'll just set it like that for now. Last one's building steam fleets. Circumvent a strike. Hey, the firemen's union isn't striking. They voted not to strike. All like 7 of them or whatever. So if a standard train is about that small, why not put an Atlantic on it? Hmm? There is an Atlantic on this. Yeah, a lot of people are, well, like Rooster Teeth, like the big ones, they do have separate computers for like just recording and encoding, um, versus actually playing the game. But also, this computer is, uh, it's not 100% up to snuff when it comes to figuring out, or when it comes to running this stuff. Yeah, so you're gonna be. I'm gonna need to like make sure the switches are set when I do this for real, because it should be lined all the way through. Excuse me, I got the hiccups now. It should be lined all the way through. Is it not? Where's the next signal? There's a signal right here. Or is it? Oh wait, that's coming out of the thing. Where's the next signal? Because there's that one, and then there's that one, right? And then there's... I don't know why this is... I don't know why this guy's gonna run her yellows. Where's the red signal in question? It's not here. It's not here. It's not here, not here. I mean, is it just the end of the line that's the red signal? Um, or, no, this is the line terminates. Yeah, so I don't know why this guy's running under yellows. And there's a green up ahead. Wait, what? Is it just something with the signals I used? I don't know, man. This guy's just gonna crawl along at 20. Was Clinchfield 311 real? Did it have just as many problems as in the Trainz movie? Oh. Oh, like the locomotive? I mean, it probably didn't have nearly as many problems. You'd have to ask Ryan about that. Who pinged me? My dad just saw the dildo truck. Um, Clinchfield 311 wasn't real and it can't hurt you. I think if I zoom out so the LODs aren't as high. There's a Connie instead. Gotcha. So this is screwing up my timing. What signal was it that got this hung up? Because I think it was one of these pedestal dwarfs, which I've had problems with. I really like them, but I don't. They seem to want to act up. So we've still got time. I'm gonna bail out of here, and I'm gonna see if I can fix the signals really quick. Read somewhere on the Trainz forums that helped fix the problem. I think it's just something with these signals. Again, I love the pedestal dwarfs, but they are a little bit buggy. I mean, I'm gonna go and see real quick if there's a. Well, you know what? I'll just use this. I'll use the actual pedestal dwarf. This. Although this one seemed to be fine. But I'll just try to omit those wherever I can. That's a whistle post. This isn't named. I mean, I'll double check the switches as well, just to make sure everything's correct. Fictional locomotive versus, that'd be kind of fun, actually. Are these switch mode? They should not be switch motors. They should be, someday I'm gonna fix that. They should not be switch motors. They would not be necessarily controlled automatically. Although, I mean, yeah, I guess there is a tower here, but it's boarded up. So these should be manual switches. In the early days, I got way too overzealous with using the switch motors on everything. And a lot of these should be manual throw switches. The map looks good when you run it above 5 FPS, yeah, right? Tell me about it. and you. Although this is 25 miles an hour inside the yard here, I'm tempted to do 50 out on the main. We've had the E2, like the Thomas engine, in a locomotive versus before, and it sucks. It's real bad. I think it would lose pretty handily to the the fake Thomas engine, the BEDT engine, the Brooklyn Eastern District Terminal engine that Strasbourg turned into Thomas. All right, so that one's correct. And then over here, I mean, I should probably just pop a signal, what, like right here, before the thing, to keep it going a little bit. And then you cross here, 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 there. Yes, 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 yes. And I'm tempted. Sorry. I'm tempted to put signals here before the bridge. It's a tight corner. Um, hmm. Yeah, I mean, I'm probably gonna want one over here at the edge, at the end of the platform. Second, putting signals before the bridge. Yeah, I'm just not sure whether to put one here at the end of the platform, or out here. Also, I mean, the dual gauge, the trains can share that, and they shouldn't, like, they'll clip through one another. So I might have to get funny with an interlocking tower for that. In fact, I might just use an invisible signal for this. But what I might do instead is just take this. Oh, wait, what? How come this is was that red the whole time? How come these are showing up as third party? Yeah, that's you. Weird. I do want to put one here. Nope, not that. Nope, not that still. Yeah, okay. Alright, no, I was in the right spot to begin with. And then flip this around to here and make sure you want it to be on the, yeah, that one. But that switch isn't going to be thrown like that automatically. Um, but yeah, okay. All right, let's try it now. Let's see if that's green all the way through. Green for glory. And I should have tried to exit, because now I might get stuck in the window again. Step bro, I'm stuck in the window. Oh wait, never mind. I did what I meant to do. Single drive. Don't talk to me about singles, okay? If you want to know why I'm upset, go watch the video from yesterday. Absolutely atrocious. Come on, load, damn you. Okay, it loaded. One of the most disgusting locomotives I've ever seen in my entire life. Alright, go. Go forth. Oh, I didn't up the speed limit, whatever. No, no, it was a stupid, it was a Reading thing. It was a Reading 422 Camelback, just piece of garbage. No, it was not a Crampton 620. I don't think anyone signed up for the bracket with the signal, which probably speaks to their intelligence. And if you, if anyone listening has not signed up for the bracket, I believe there is still one spot open. It's double headers. There is a prize, or there will be a prize, which is a free selection of locomotive card for the third batch of trading cards. But yeah, currently there are 7 teams, and we need 8. So absolutely come join our train fight club. I think most of the folks here are signed up, so I can't really pester anyone else in this call, but we're listening. The one person who hasn't signed up, Planet, is calling your name. Oh, God. Look, there's a yellow. Oh, because I didn't fix the way the switch alignment. Oh, my God, I'm so stupid. I didn't do it, did I? No, I did it, right? Yeah. Well, there goes that. Okay, no, it's correct. Well, why is that yellow? I mean, I'm used to being able to solve this with, hmm. And that's the signal I was just looking at, isn't it? No, he's gonna pass it way sooner than that. Oh, it's the one on the post right over here. This line is clear ahead for 2 blocks. Okay. Matches will be scheduled independently to fit the needs of the people that are going to be in them. So don't worry about that. I will be working with the schedules of everyone to make sure that the matches can happen. Why do you show as yellow? Okay, suddenly the world is lit up. The line is clear ahead for 2 blocks. So why is this not green? Why is this not considered to be green? It's actually doing worse than last time. I mean, it's running nice and smoothly, but... Okay. Maybe the pedestal dwarfs are no good. Maybe I had it wrong. Why not try it with regular ones? What is... Jesus, Em. They just want to have the... I'm surprised that Tyler hasn't tried to join. I'm surprised that Tyler hasn't tried to work his way in. I'm not sure if he knows he's allowed to. Tyler, you're allowed to join if you ever hear this, you are allowed to compete. I'm letting you do it. I know you'll just kill everyone, but you're allowed to do it. Okay. Nope, that's not it. Does it have to do with the settings on these? Block length 2. Diverging route, right. Route speed, slow. Well, because diverging route, that would be up here, but that would be that's set to the left. Configuration mode advanced signal type interlocking. I mean, I don't really want to do an interlocking. I just want to do like a. I've got 2 of them. Old style. What's the difference? They both stop showing up the lights when you get too far from them. I think that's a bug. Oh, because it's the other way around is what it is. Okay. Well. I don't really care that much. The reason I'm using the dwarf boards here at all is because of because Essex has, I think, 1 of them to let trains out of the main station. And part of me wants to just eliminate all of them. I feel like it's overkill, you know, just to have all of these signals. But you could say this route was over-designed, which clearly it was. Not a ton this time. Need 1 more team for the bracket. I shouted that out again, and I made official like on-stream mention of the fact that there is going to be a reward. Which, by the way, called Essex again. Apparently they aren't taking phone calls at all this week, and I just went like, what? I don't. Maybe they're mourning the queen. I don't know. But they just didn't. They don't answer. They don't answer the damn phone. Uh, I even have the extension for the mechanical department, and I call them, and they don't answer the phone. And I'm just, I'm gonna go over there. Like I'm gonna have to go over there. I'm gonna have to go to Essex and be like, give me the diagrams. I'm gonna just channel my inner Tyler. And here's the thing: I don't want to go over there and have nobody be there, and then have to drive all the way home. I mean, yes, it's only an hour, but it's still, you know, potentially, probably with traffic, 2 to 3 hour, you know, or 2.5 to 3 hours of my day that I'm spending to drive to Essex and back for possibly no reason at all. That's why I just want to call first. I want to call ahead. I want to get on the phone. Get on the phone. Yes, you're hearing me, a millennial, say this. I'd like to get on my phone and call them and talk on the phone with another actual person and, like, get an answer. Get a goddamn answer. I at one point sort of gave up and I committed to, yeah, I'm gonna do 3025 as the locomotive here because I think it makes sense to have 3025 as the final locomotive in this pack here. And I can't. I feel like maybe I jumped the gun on that. I feel like maybe I shouldn't have been so hasty in deciding that this was going to be that. And, like, I should have let my worries take prescience more, apparently, because, yeah. Yeah, I emailed them. You know what happened? They didn't answer. I emailed them and then I called them and I was like, this is the only time somebody has answered the phone. I went, did you get my email? And the answer was, well, a lot of emails come through here every day. And I'm just like, that doesn't answer my question. So, We will be doing more practice doubleheaders next week. We will be doing more practice doubleheaders like every Wednesday, unless I have a conflict, and unless I'm recording stuff for doubleheaders. So, uh, I'm just trying to like popularize this game mode. I'm trying to get like some people into it, get some use out of it. Um, Hopefully, the bracket will have that effect. To get some people sort of interested, because then I'm going to be using it to drum up support for the second batch. So I want to do more double headers. I mean, how many royales did we do? We did like, what, 7 seasons of royales, and there's still going to be more in the future. I have very little doubt, but double headers is a new thing, and I want to be able to experience it, or I want to be able to have people experience it so that I can then refine it. And I feel like it's at a it's resembling the final product, right? But people aren't acquainted with it. Go. Oh, that explains why Taylor hasn't been around. Joke's on you, I'm going to the train club. Did he delete the... Did he close the thread? No. I just wasn't hooked into it. Maybe this time I'll call a stat. Ouch. All that was weird for me in a good way. I've never done Locomotive versus only Royale, so it's been a broadside to have new rules. Yeah, I know it is very similar to Locomotive Versus, but if you've never been on the podcast, you've never actually done Locomotive Versus, uh, which is something I sort of take for granted because I do it, 2 times a month at least. I do it every other week. I do a Locomotive Versus, and it's like, yeah, no, I know these rules like the back of my hand, and there's a lot of people who don't, and I didn't even, really consider that. No, that's still yellow. It's still considered to be yellow. What does it take to get a green signal around here? Or well, a vertical signal. Minus clear ahead for 2 blocks. If I were to throw this, it'd say line is clear ahead for 1 block. If I were to throw it back, it would say 2 blocks. Wait a minute, that's what it is. Ah, I got it. I figured it out. That's what it is. Now we're not going to have time to test it. But I figured it out. Holy crap, I'm so dumb. Well, we're going to stick with the little dwarf signals and not the pedestals. But, hold on, switch to route layer. Although, actually, I don't know if this doesn't save in the route layer, which is why we edit stuff in the session. Let's see. I'm gonna do a quick spot check to see. Advanced approach mode. Block length 3. Let's try it now. little Joe. Wait a minute, what the heck? Oh, he just doesn't have the thing showing. Um, come on. I thought I had tried to load it already. Come on, you can do it. Load the damn thing. Hmm. Come on, I hope I'm right. I really hope I'm right with this. Hold on, where are you? Take me to the train. Let's go. Let's do this. I'm tired as heck. Alright, it's going to throw the switch, and then we will see what it thinks. I mean, even this, let's see, this says, oh, line ahead is on signal. That's right. Because you need to throw this. Oh, you need to throw both of them, actually. Come on, you can do it. Been lurking since 2013. Oh, come on, do the thing. Oh, you have to stop first, and then you try to do the thing. You did it. That's red. Why is that red? That's green. Because that's this. But why is that green? No, still, line ahead is clear for 2 blocks. Why is that considered yellow? I'm so confused. The next one probably says the same thing. I mean, is it these signals? Line ahead is clear for 2 blocks. Because, like, these are working fine. Oh, wait, you're not. Yeah, these are working fine. Well, the next signal for you is all the way up here. But that's still showing as a green. It just says clear. Instead of line ahead is clear for 2 blocks. I'm gonna have to do some experimenting with the signals themselves. Because it's doing worse than it was doing before. Hmm. Um, Signal question. Nope, that's not the kind of signal question I have. Um, Pedestal. Again, I'm just gonna switch it back and see what happens. Because this one was showing right, wasn't it? Oh yeah, signal type. Oh, these can be automatic instead of interlocking, which What are the Conrail back-to-back rules? What does that mean? Um, okay, hold on. We're just gonna throw this guy back here as an interlocking signal. Default settings, right? I'm losing it. I'm getting to the point of the night where I'm losing it. I'm gonna be banging my head on this wall here for the next 45 minutes. Go, load as fast as possible. I mean, I could just do this on a test world. Like, I could just as easily do this on a test world. Uh, I do have Unified Driver Surveyor, but it breaks stuff. So here's the thing about Unified Driver Surveyor. If you flip it over and all your trains start to move, all your trains have moved. When you flip it back into Surveyor, those trains are in new locations. And if you're trying to do a scenario like this where, everything sort of starts together, you're gonna run into problems like that. All the trains will take off on you. And also, I think it breaks the incredibly sensitive uh, timing commands. Yeah, I really, if there's anything I want right now with Surveyor and stuff, it is a button that just puts all the trains back where they started. I'm not waiting for you, just go. Oh my god, it's green down there. It's green, it's green, it's green. Because it's specifically those signals, isn't it? And it still says line is clear ahead for 2 blocks. But apparently this signal considers that to be green, and the other one considers that to be yellow. But maybe if I switch to automatic, it won't be a problem. We're going to have to play with this more. Lafayette. Hi. Hi, Pupper. Hi, good boy. Hi. Hi. Come here. Come here. Come here. Hi, good boy. Are you here to tell me that it's 10 o'clock and I need to stop doing this because I'm just going to drive myself crazy? Because I feel like that's why you're here. It's just going to flop. He's going to flop over. If it's a signal for the next block, it's yellow because theoretically the next signal would be red. Yeah, except they're yellow all the way down, and every signal in the same every single signal in the chain says clear for the next 2 blocks. It's actually clear for like 5 or 6 blocks, but every signal says clear for the next 2 blocks, which should otherwise be green anyway. And I just opened the thing instead of opening Surveyor. But the train is treating it, and the game is treating it like a yellow. And that's the part that is perplexing. Because by all rights, it should be green, but it's treating it like yellow. But I don't like the pedestal dwarfs, and I don't want to use them everywhere. So part of me wants to just stick like a full-size one, because we know those work. And I have one over here. I think some of the signals are only capable of displaying approach. Makes sense for yards. That's a good point. If I want to put down That is a really good point that I hadn't considered. That signal may only be capable of displaying that. Hmm. I wonder if there's a difference between the regular and the old style then. You know what? We're going to a test world. So with either the Super Signal Guide or Pensy operating rules. Yeah. Back to select route. New route. Oh, I didn't want to run it. I wanted to test it, but it doesn't matter. We'll just switch it because this route I don't care about if it breaks. I like what I assume is the brake gear on the outside. You just knock that off by accident. Hold on. Alright, hold on. Oh, does this look familiar, by the way? Alright, hold on. No, we're gonna go back. We're gonna just edit session. I have too many things that are going on here. Um, okay, hold on. This, I'm gonna just put like 3 tracks side by each, and we're gonna play with some signals. And technically, they should change automatically. So let's do a let's just a regular buffer, I guess, or just a let's do end of track. Sorry, track ends. There we go. That's what it is. I know, right? Hold on, I might be able to fix that in a second. Let's add an environment. I can just do that, or I can do. Oh, that doesn't do it. There we go. That's a little better. Um, okay, let's test it with. Let's just grab Santa Fe doodad. So we have that pointing at a signal. Oh, that's good to know. Thank you, guy. And if I put a signal down, it's going to be yellow. If I put a second signal down, that's going to be yellow. If I put a third signal down, the first one should change to green, shouldn't it? Unless these are only capable of displaying yellow, which I wasn't aware of. Wait, it just changed. Block spacing is very low. Yeah, no, you don't say. Oh, okay, now. Okay, if I put the first one there and the second one back there. So it apparently does in fact care about that. So those can do green. PRR. Let's see. Let's look at these. So if I put a second one down there, and I have to zoom out so I can see it. We know that with other signals that should be green, but it's not. If I do the old ones, yeah, no, it doesn't seem like these are capable of displaying a green. If I do a pedestal, put one down there, put one over here, yeah, that can display a vertical, so a green. So literally, it's limitations on what these signals can display. That's wow. I didn't realize that. So I'm put myself in a worse situation by fiddling around with the dwarves. Um, interesting. But, and I assume the uh, post-mounted dwarf is the same way. I'm gonna have to get rid of all these anyway. I can barely see it anyway because these things are a little glitched. So let's look at alternatives then, because I don't really want to use. I mean, are there any other PRR dwarf PLs on the download station? PRR dwarf. Also, I noticed this doesn't happen on some of the pedestal dwarfs. Um, like the ones. Okay, yeah. We have this. Pedestal is capable of normal, medium, restricted. Yeah. And I'm just looking at the DLS, and I'm looking at if I just turn off whether something's installed or not. Hmm. Asset descriptions will show what it's capable of. Right. Uh, would typically display slow indications of restricting, and also display stop and proceed. But I'm just wondering why I haven't had this problem before. I mean, I don't. I guess I'm not complaining, but I just can't help but notice that the olive branch doesn't seem to have this problem, and it uses the same signals. But there are some older PRR dwarf signals that I might be able to use. Hi, Lafayette. As the real signal is always an interlocking signal, stop and proceed would not be shown. Gotcha, because that's how that works. So if I were to use pedestal signal, or if I were to use one of these can display go ahead, because these are designed for non-interlocking use. Okay. Or they're, well, not necessarily, but they are designed for, yeah, they can be automatic. Um, so we're just gonna have to rethink our signal choice, I guess, in situations where this happens. I'm glad we went on this adventure, and I hope I remember next week. Oh, let me write it down. Reading ML tram stuff. What stuff? ML tram. Oh, interlocking. Replace pedestal dwarf signals where necessary to show green. Okay. Well, I wrote that down. Maybe we can take care of that next time. Thank you all for tuning in, and I'll see you next week. This is the Admiral signing off.